friends. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday morning. It is January the 7th. Rise and shine, and good morning to you. This is Coffee Talk. I'm meteorologist Eric Burris. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's doing in the world of weather. Right off the top, it is a foggy morning. Dense fog advisories in effect for Central Florida through 9 o'clock this morning. And frankly, some of the latest modeling that I'm seeing is showing that that fog may want to stick around perhaps a little bit longer. Yeah, let's look at the visibility numbers as they are right now. And looking around town, Orlando down to a quarter-mile visibility. We're at a quarter-mile in Claremont, 2 miles in Sanford, about a quarter-mile for us in DeLand, and even Daytona Beach. Even the beach is now starting, moved all the way across. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Let's take a live look at our Tower Cam network, at least if you're watching this on the live feed. Then yeah, there's Tavares, and obviously it's low clouds, it's the fog. But I want to take you over to Daytona Beach just to show you how the fog has moved in this direction. And what I think is particularly interesting, just a couple of minutes ago, this was not the case. It was a clear sky not long ago, so kind of interesting how the atmosphere is the air is always moving, right? Let me move over to New Smyrna Beach, just a couple of miles down the shoreline and see what's doing. And isn't it so different? You can see that low cloud deck there, but the fog is not present. Does it end up lowering? It's definitely a possibility. Let me take you over to Brevard County, see what's doing. Let's head over to the Kennedy Space Center and see what's doing. And it's so funny. This is looking due north, so you can see that cloud deck up into Volusia and Flagler counties. And then, of course, downtown. I mean, I'm going to show it to you. It doesn't do much good. You just don't see anything. It's foggy out, right? So we've got the fog. It's impacting roadways. Thankfully, though, thanks to those Cat 1 approaches, Um, most flights are on time. There are 5 delayed flights into Orlando International Airport. There are 3 cancellations. So, if you're traveling today, the good news is that's not going to be a massive issue for us. Here's the thing that really made the difference today: temperature was just a little bit warmer, 60s out the door for most of us. Now, when we look at, we usually use the 24-hour temperature comparison tool to analyze cold fronts. But in this case, there's a broader scan of 5 to 10 degree warmer temperatures. So in other words, the dew point came up. In other words, there's more moisture, more humidity in the atmosphere. And as things ticked up, the temperature was able to hit that quicker. The winds were light enough that we were able to develop the fog. So that's kind of where we're at this morning. It's just what it is. We can handle it. It's I don't want to say it's severe weather, right? We're not talking about damaging storms or anything like that. Through the day today, once the fog burns off, we do look at the sun. It's going to be gorgeous. 75 by lunchtime, 78 degrees by 3 p.m. Little by little, we're going to be doing just fine. It's going to be a gorgeous day ahead. And as a matter of fact, temperatures today running nice and warm. Let's take you around town and see. 78 in the city, 78 in the villages, 77 in Daytona Beach, 79 in Palm Bay. So absolute gorgeous weather. Top left corner shows the average high is 72. We are obviously running above average. No surprise there. Winds out of the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Definitely running in that above average realm. We're going to stay above average the next couple of days. Let's dial up our 7 day forecast and we'll look at the coastal one as well. I got you covered. Notice 78 today. Why cooler than yesterday? It's super subtle, super subtle. But essentially, there's this weak front in the area that's just kind of turning the winds just super subtly. So again, you're not looking at any massive change, but still not quite as toasty as yesterday. Okay, then we look at our Thursday and our Friday. We're building in the heat. We're getting toastier and we're getting toastier. And that's going to linger right through to Saturday. As a matter of fact, Saturday is going to be a toasty enough day that we could be talking about some records. Not a bunch, but for example, Leesburg, I think, will be in the vicinity. Your forecast high is 83. The record 83 set back in 1972. So we're going to be at least in that ballpark, okay? Orlando, 86 is the record, 82 is the forecast. I'm not thinking we're going to get a ton of records around, but you get the idea, right? It's going to be a toastier day for us. That's Saturday. Then Sunday, we start to see the temperatures adjusting just a little bit as that next front moves into the area. Okay. Temperature's not going to be a massive change, but we'll talk about temperatures dropping from the 80s down into the 70s for the weekend. And I know a lot of people are doing the Run Disney races, so we're going to get into that right now. Okay, let's talk about all of the races we've got. First off, we've got the 5K. That's tomorrow morning. That's a run around the world at Epcot. We'll be tracking the fog. Otherwise, it's going to be a lovely morning. Temperatures in the lower 60s, upper 50s. Then there's the 10K on Friday. From the boardwalk to Epcot, it's going to be a beautiful time. Temperatures in the 60s. Half marathon on Saturday. Even though Saturday afternoon takes us to record temperatures, we're still comfortably cool. It's not going to be chilly. It's not going to be toasty. It's going to be comfortably cool. Temperatures in the lower 60s. Then we look to the full marathon. Look at that. Same idea. Cold front will be working our direction, but it's going to be a comfortable breeze. The breeze will start to pick up a little bit. It's going to be a very nice race. I think that if there's any concern for the race, it's going to be that it's just maybe a little bit warmer than you'd like. And especially for the full marathon, maybe a little breezier than you'd like, but not too bad. Not too bad. Wendy says that's a little warmer than you would like for a half. Sure. But again, it's not the 70s. I ran a half and it was in the 70s. It was awful. It was, I mean, I weighed 300 pounds too. That part was also awful. But like, yeah. Now, that said, look at the difference in temperatures, right? Sunday into Monday, we go off a cliff because cold front actually arrives. So it's like a day late and a dollar short. You really would love those temperatures to be in the 40s. I know. It just is what it is, unfortunately. We're not going to time that out to be too perfect. Sorry. Wendy says I ran the full WDW in 2020 when I got like 82 and red flag the course. That was brutal. Yeah, I would say I would agree. I would say I probably agree with that. Yeah, sorry about that. But hey, listen, if you know you can prepare, and especially for the racers here in Florida, they're used to the warmth. And that's basically where we're at. We've got the warm air in place for us today, warm air in place for us the next couple of days. But looking ahead to Saturday and Sunday, that next front will be approaching us. And as it does, it's going to bring with it the rain chances. So let's do this. Let's dial in here and let's try to zero in on some of the rain chances. All right, so here's Friday, storm system north and west of us. Saturday, 6 a.m. All right, there's going to be the half. I'll bring it full screen for you. This is long range futurecast, so it's way out there. It's not going to be one of those cases where we're going to be able to get into some real nitty gritty, but at least gives us an idea. It gives us the ability to look a little ahead. All right. So Saturday morning, a couple of sprinkles for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Not a problem for us. Through lunchtime, notice there's a little bit of that green in our area, so we'll have a few showers through the early afternoon in our area. It does not look to be a huge concern whatsoever. A few passing showers is not a problem. Then Sunday morning, there's 8 a.m. We'll be doing coffee talk and probably tracking some rain in the Big Bend and through the Gulf. I'm working Sunday, so I'll be grumpy, I'll be tired, I'll be sitting right here, and we'll be talking. But later in the morning, we watch that broken line move in, and it's super weak. It's really not going to give us a ton of opportunity for showers. 2 p.m., 3, 4 o'clock, a few showers. And then once it clears and it shifts to the south, our winds give us that nice chill. And essentially, we bring down the temperatures from above average readings this week to below average readings. Even if it's just a little below average, it's still going to be below average for next week. So at least we're going to be in that vicinity there. All right, so that's kind of that's kind of where we're at. We've got the nice changes. UConn says I'm tired and grumpy every day, whether I work or not. Well, that's true for me as well. I can't speak to your behalf, but I could definitely say that I'm the same way. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. We've got some cooler temperatures moving in next week. 7-day forecast, at least for now, is looking just gorgeous. Highs in the upper 70s, lower 80s through the week. We've got a couple of those showers this weekend, and then things are trending cooler next week. And as a matter of fact, when we talk about things trending cooler, look at our Monday. All right, back to work and back to school next week. Look at where we wake up on Monday morning. 49 in Orlando, 46 in Leesburg. Uh-huh. It's going to be one of those. Yeah. Um, it's not going to be the coldest air we have seen this season, but it's definitely, definitely going to be a nice chill, right? Then into the afternoon, we don't warm a ton. We get there. 67, 67 for Orlando. Uh-huh. Same kind of idea, right? A cool little stretch of weather, right? So that's kind of where we're at. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends. How are we doing? How are you doing? You doing good? 67, Sonia says, on my birthday. Monday is my birthday, and it's going to be cool. Happy birthday. I love it. Happy birthday. Frank says, let's chill. Love it. Debbie says, Volusia went back yesterday. Yes. Mary says, looking forward to cooler temperatures. Yeah, it's a nice. I like the warmer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of done with the cool. I'm ready for the warmer. But yes, I get what you're saying. Still have to put Christmas away, right? Everybody, everybody done with Christmas? Is everybody done with it? Everybody? Yeah. Look at that. Bright sunshine. I love it. And before you know it, we're going to be talking spring break. I need to put in my vacation requests, actually, speaking of which. And I need to look at when hurricane conferences are and all that fun stuff. Which I don't know if in this new position, if they're going to still send me to those hurricane conferences or now. I guess I have to figure that one out. Tim says I smoked meats last night in my cold Ohio temps. How was that? Was that harder? Diane says I'm reorganizing my Christmas decorations as I pack them away. That's always smart. Ashley says Christmas is cleaned up. I'm ready for spring. There you go. Nikki says our tree will come down today. Anne Marie says nope. I have northern visitors coming this weekend, and then I'll be done with it. I love it. Leslie says, looks like Monster Jam on Saturday could get a little muddy. I think I'm going to that. Um, I don't think it could get muddy. I mean, a couple of showers is not a big deal. It doesn't look at the moment like it's anything more than literally just a couple of showers. So not too concerned with that. Tara says, this weekend the Christmas stuff goes away. Hula Bowl in DeLand, Ted says. Put it away on January 3rd. There you go. All right. Thank you, buddy. Cindy says, my Christmas stuff comes done with Christmas. Selfish people, Terry says. Justin's on YouTube. All right. Very good. Yukon says, I still have lights in the house with some bushes, but all the decorations. All right. Let's go walk over to the green screen. Let's do this next weather hit together. You said all Christmas is put away for the year. On to spring, Jan says. Love it. Tree is up until we don't want it, and then it's live. Oh, there you go. Always done with Christmas. I'm a bah humbug, Stacy says. You're too funny. See, he's not you. He's not. Ernesto's a lot of things. He's not you. She always moves the keyboard for me. Ernesto's like, psh, that isn't my job. You're a big boy, he says. Would you? But you won't move the keyboard. But you'll move my hand. I'll hold my hand. That's because he's a teddy bear, but he's also a father who gives that tough love. Oh man. I love you so much, Ernesto. All right. Let's get hyped and do some weather, shall we? Right. I mean, that's Maitland. Usually you can kind of tell some landmarks, but yeah, this is at the fire station on the Weather Stem camera network. But this gives you an idea. It is a gray start to the day from Maitland through downtown, right up and down I-4. It's even thicker out around Windermere, Gotha, Bay Hill, Ocoee, but it's not as thick around Wedgefield or Christmas. Wider perspective showing, though, that it's trying to work that direction. Daytona Beach visibility is down to a quarter mile. Palm Coast is down to a mile. It's just widespread fog this morning. As a matter of fact, and I know, Sonica and Jason, that you showed this camera just a little bit ago, but I want to add some more context. This is looking from New Smyrna Beach. There's the Ponce Inlet. There's Daytona Beach shores. This fog is kind of thickening up. I showed this at the very beginning of Coffee Talk, and it was much different. It was a nearly clear sky. Now we're starting to cycle that fog in. So it's continuing to spread. It hasn't started to lift yet. So just slow down. Don't drive it like a knucklehead. Take it easy on the roads this morning. Temperature's a little warmer to the tune of about 5, 6, 7 degrees or so around town. And that's just enough to help develop the fog. It lets you know that there's more moisture in the area. So this morning, the fog, then we get into the upper 70s. We stay nice and warm through our Thursday, Friday. But I want you to notice this weekend, we have a few showers in the forecast. That's the next cold front marching our direction. So notice Saturday, 6 a.m., Louisiana, Mississippi, watching a line of some heavier rains moving our direction. Now, during the afternoon Saturday, Futurecast showing a few sprinkles. Nothing too intense, but a few sprinkles. So keep that in mind. Then Sunday, this line works in, but really weakens as it does so. There's lunchtime. We see a few areas of rain and then kind of just fading showers through the day. So I think Saturday has about a 10% coverage of rain. Sunday has a 20% coverage of rain. Not a washout. After that, we drop the temperatures from our warm register this week to the slightly below average temperatures looking ahead to next week. But until then, we are staying nice and warm today. 78 in Orlando, 77 degrees Daytona Beach, 79 in Palm Bay. Forecast over the next 7 days brings those readings through the 80s, and then a couple of showers this weekend lead us to the cooler temperatures by early next week. Megan, good morning. Okay, let's catch up on some of these comments here. Like the neck roll, of course, on a big. You like the neck roll? I don't even know what that even means. Hype the no hype weather forecast. No hype. No hype. Shout out on coffee. You guys are so funny. I don't even remember I did the shout out, but yes, we were talking about it. We were talking about it. Let's see here. Good morning, Susie says. Good morning. I'm your biggest fan. Oh my goodness. I'm at my worst in the morning, but you, sir, put a smile on my face no matter what the weather. Thank you so much, Susie. That is a very sweet thing to say. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. You put a smile on my face. Thank you so much. Diane says, dang, I couldn't type a comment and pay attention to what he says. I missed the shout out. It's not, it's okay. It's okay. Yukon says, today, pasta for breakfast. I'm going to regret that. Nah, you enjoy it. As Wendy Chioji always said, have the cake, have the pie. We get one shot at this. You know what I mean? We got one shot at life. Terry says, still foggy here in Dunellen. Oh, it hasn't started lifting yet. The fog is absolutely still prevalent. Let me do this. Here's the visibilities. We haven't started clearing it at all. It's still spreading around. Yeah, just looking at that. So that's kind of where we're at. Yukon says, Wendy Chioji, she was a class. It's true. It's true. Listen, in time, I will share some wisdom she gave me and how it has played in and is playing into my future. In time, she was a very little package. She had a lot of wisdom to give. So yeah, Tanya says our next sale is in Dunellen. I have no idea the context of that. Don says it's still very foggy and ladylike. Yeah, I mean you can just look around. There is nothing but fog. Brevard County, you can see the clear sky, but you can see that deck. So it's with us. All right, let me set up my next what today's show is the next hit. Stand by. Today we'll do that. We'll do downtown. Okay, okay. All right, perfect. All right, back to you. Yukon says she was such a presence on the air. She had that presence in person too, you know? Oh God. And then there's Oliver. There's Oliver on Facebook. I'm going to quote, "Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or let it slip?" Yo, his palms are, yeah, we can keep going. Point taken. Yeah, Rebecca says it just doesn't get cold in Florida. I mean, cold is a relative term because looking ahead to Monday, all I'm going to say is Monday's morning, it may not be frigid, but like that's not warm, right? Tanya says, I can't see my mailbox. It's fine. Yeah, I would think so. All right. Let, let me just look and see where we're at. 8:25. So traffic is before weather, and then there's a tease. Okay, very good. Do the things, make the memories, and eat the cake for sure. That, that, yes. And we've got beautiful weather for the memory making, right? Debbie says, I watched it get foggy during my walk earlier this morning. Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? Yukon says, I can't believe how Wesh keeps building good things, quality news staff, while the other stations just keep turning over folks. Television is an interesting business and it's changing literally day by day. Um, you know, I've been in the business 25 years and I've seen such change. Ugh, I also need to see some change in this hairstyle. I've seen such change. So, yeah. Joe says, people driving with no headlights, scary. Also low beams only. And I always say, like, when the weather is foggy like this, I always say don't drive like a knucklehead, but also just don't ever drive like a knucklehead, right? That's at least my thoughts. So anyway, all right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I think what we're going to do, and I had chatted about this, we chatted a little bit about this yesterday. I think what we're going to do is when it comes to the coffee talk drive-through, I'm going to tell you the guest ahead of time. We're going to you're going to submit the questions and then we're going to have to tape it and I'll tape it. I think that's the way it's going to have to be. Is that okay? I think that's the way it's going to have to be. That's just the best way to do it. But that allows you to get the questions out. So I think that that's where it's going to be. We'll do taped. It's not going to be live. You're not going to be able to ask your questions on the spot, but you can ask the questions. And I will give you, I won't do surprises because that's going to kind of defeat the purpose of it. So I think that that's probably, at least in this early coffee talk while I'm doing the weekday morning show, I think that that's probably going to be the best way to do it. I think that that makes sense. Yukon says, if you tape it, that's easier for you. Yes. Yes. I think it's going to be easier for me. I mean, it's going to be, another thing that I have to do, but listen, at the end of the day, we're all just doing the things. So I think that that's probably going to be perfect. And then and then there's Nikki always with the wisdom. It's okay for you to not do coffee talk drive through. Don't wear yourself out. If I have opportunities to do it, I think that I'll do it. I'm not going to go out of my way to go crazy for it. But yes, I think that that's probably when we do something, we'll do it. I'm not going to promise a guest every Friday. That's going to be hard with this new schedule. But I think that, yeah, I think that that's where it'll be. All right. Oh, we got Today Show cut in here. This story, this Eustace attempted kidnapping arrest, like I don't ever talk about the news stories, but like, my God, what is wrong with people? I won't, yeah, I'll just do it occasionally, Tim. Absolutely. All right, let's go do this today hit together. I agree. Don't go out of your way. Maybe once a month. Yeah, something like that. Something simple. We won't go too crazy with it. I promise. I don't have the bandwidth to go crazy with it. Yep. Thank you. Oh, give it a couple of hours. It's going to be a little slow to clear today, at least according to the latest model data, but we're seeing at least a little bit of clearing here. I can kind of see some of the buildings through our weather stem camera from the FAMU Law College there in downtown. Quarter mile visibility, it's basically pea soup out west. Same thing for low visibilities into Volusia and Flagler. Temperatures out the door a little warmer this morning in the 60s. We'll push to 75 lunchtime, 78 our high temperature today, and we'll hang in the lower range of the 80s all the way through to the weekend. It's Ernesto right there, counting down. Let's see here. Just 3 shot. Of course, it's at the disco. Of course, I'm at the disco. All right. What is this? This is top D. Have no idea what camera I'm going to show. Let's do Daytona Beach. No, let's do Winter Park. No, let's do Ocala. Okay, let's do this. At the disco. Okay. I'm going as fast as I can, dude. 10. Ride like the wind. Do, 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 do. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Now on Sunrise, a meal at Disney Springs turned into a deadly emergency, and now a popular restaurant is being sued. Why family says 911 was not called right away. It's really about the money. A local elementary school quick decision. Starts now. Good morning on your Wednesday. It is 8:30 on Sun Duncan.
That Jason guy, we got to get to that first warning forecast because we've got fog out there.
Let's get to first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Visibility has been off and on depending on where you're taking us.
Yeah, so this is Ocala. Had the visibility way down earlier. Now it's just gray and cloudy with those low clouds. It's just kind of meandering. And the temperatures are about 5 degrees warmer this morning, which is what helped for the fog and the low clouds to develop. So that's kind of what got us going. And now it's going to take a little while to clear out. Notice mostly cloudy skies, 9 a.m., temperature of about 64. Lunchtime, we should go with plenty of sunshine. It should be a pretty nice day for us. Temperatures climbing into the mid 70s and then upper 70s into the afternoon. That said, dense fog advisory in effect through 9 a.m. Wouldn't surprise me if we start to see some of these counties go through 10 a.m. Something to watch. But look at how Brevard County, you're fine. Basically, though, everybody else dealing with that thick fog around. Temperatures out the door in the 60s, and we'll work our way into the 70s to nearly 80 degrees. So today, foggy to start, comfortably warm to finish. Let's talk more about that forecast and the cooler temperatures right around the corner when we see you in just a couple of minutes. Now let's get over to Megan Mackey, see what's doing on the roads. Okay. So that is a super quick turnaround. And so when I said I'm getting there as fast as I can, that was to the director, Scott, who's trying to get the camera shot set. And, you know, he's trying to do his job, and it's a tight turnaround. It's a tight turnaround. Debbie says, I love the Coffee Talk drive-thru. However, I really love Coffee Talk mornings as they are. Listen, when there's an opportunity to have a guest, we'll have a guest. That's all, right? Let's see here. Ernesto, yes, Ernesto is helping with the clock, yeah. Run, Forrest, run. I'm playing catch up with your comments at this point, yeah. All right, that's all I got. But you did it with grace. Turn around. I guess you can't be using a walker doing the weather. Yeah. Oh, well. All right. So fog lifts and we get the sun shining today. Sound good? Sound good. All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys on CW18 through 10 a.m. I'll see you on WESH 2 for the noon show today because that's so much fun. And then, yeah, we'll do Coffee Talk again tomorrow morning. Sound good? All right. Take care.